Hey guys, it's Dalton with DT's Cool Cards. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to be talking about lessons that I've learned. It's a new series that I'm going to start. Also, I want to apologize for the lighting. I pride myself on the ability to learn things and pick up things over time. However, when it comes to lighting, I, I have no idea why I just can't understand lighting. I got a new tripod. This thing is about as big as a horse. So I had to move in a different part of my room. However, like half my face is completely dark. So it'll have to be something I gotta work on for the next video. But today I want to talk about things I've learned selling over $20,000 worth of Pokemon cards out of the back of my car on Facebook Marketplace. Um, it's pretty much going to be two negatives and a positive. I'm always going to start with the difficult stuff before I get to the easy stuff. So it's going to sound like I'm being negative. I'm not. I'm a big fan of hyperbole, and I can be a little sarcastic sometimes. So as I'm talking to you guys about this, I promise a lot of it's hyperbole. I am joking. However, and this is going to be point one. If you thought buying was difficult on Facebook marketing, holy smokes. Selling on Facebook Marketplace, holy cheese and crackers. It is difficult. I would say when it comes to buying on Facebook Marketplace, it's really trying to come to terms with a deal on somebody or with somebody. I just got finished talking to somebody. I was looking at buying their collection and they wanted 93% for raw cards. But that's the issue with buying is that the negotiation kind of, it's difficult. But with selling, I mean, you just get a lot of requests, you get a lot of negotiation. And for me, what I try to do is I try to price my stuff to the point where, hey, there really is no negotiation. I'm going to price it as low as I can so I can still make money. But also, like, I completely get that crap's expensive right now. But people really do. It's like people think you're drowning in margins. You know what I mean? People really think that you're just making so much money with this stuff that you can sell basically buy one get one free or buy one get one half off. And I don't mean to be comical or anything, but it's just like you just don't know where people are getting these thoughts from. And to an extent, I get it because I'm sure people think, okay, you know, people are getting things out of the kiosk for super cheap, so I'm sure this guy's getting all this product for super cheap. And that's just not the case. You'll have people send you eBay listings when you're like, hey, you can't really go off eBay for Chinese and Korean right now because there's so many fakes. You'll have people sending you Photoshop pictures. I was talking to a guy and he was like, he sent me a picture of some prices. I was like, okay, cool. Well, where did you see that from? I can't match it, but where did you see it from? I don't know. Okay. Um, and then also, you just deal with some. I had some guy the other day who said he was going to stop by at 1, and then he messaged me at 2:30 and said, "Hey, I'm here." I'm like, "Well, I told you I was going to meet you at around 1 when you messaged me. And it's 2:30." His response, "Oh." And then when I when I met up with him, he didn't even know what car he was in. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm in this car," and I was like, "That's a Honda." He goes, "Oh." So I get it. You'll deal like that with selling, but also with buying, it's just a little bit more stressful, I guess, to add to it. And then I would say another thing about how tough it is, it really does test your patience selling on marketplace. One thing I think is super important as you build your business, whether it be Pokemon or anything else, is you really do have a job that requires you to be in customer service because it really does teach you a lot of patience. And as I talk about building out your business and giving you guys tips for that, I do recommend selling on Facebook Marketplace at first. It's a very good test of your patience and a patience grower. The second thing I learned is just how difficult it is to get um, repeat customers, right? I probably have a handful of repeat customers. When you're looking at building a business, you want to really look at two things. How do you bring in new customers? And then how do you increase their order frequency, right? How do you turn them into long term DTs, cool cards, orderers or customers? There you go. And again, I get it, crap's expensive. But you're really just bringing on a value based customer, right? There's so many new people coming into the hobby. They just want, I don't say cheap, they want the lowest priced item for sale. And I get that. But a lot of times I don't see people coming back, right? And while I can speak about hyperbole and while I can be goofy and funny on YouTube, I take my job very seriously when it comes to interacting with customers, building a great customer experience. However, it just doesn't always turn into repeat customers. Um, the idea of value is really, people don't necessarily look at it the right way. So a lot of times they're like, hey, I want to rip something. I say, hey, get Mega Dream. It might be the most expensive thing that I have, but you're going to have the most fun with it. It's going to be the best. You're going to get the most hits or the best chances for most hits. And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, I want a box of Nile Zero, or I just want one box of, Chinese Gym 4, which Chinese Gym 4 is awesome, but you're not really going to get a pull if you want to rip that's going to be really, worth you coming back. However, let me talk about the best thing about working and selling off Facebook Marketplace. And really, with any business, any job, the best thing is always the most difficult thing, and that's the people. I've met some really, really cool people on Facebook Marketplace. There's people that I message. I mean, it's still about Pokemon, but we message really at least once a day. Hey, did you see this? Hey, when do you have this in stock? Oh, shoot, I just ripped all this stuff. I didn't pull anything. And I actually like going out of my way to help out my customers. Yeah, I have a one young man that I've been working with, and I actually was messaging him today about some stuff, and I got him a card he was looking for free. It was only like a $3 or $4 card that I got for him, but still, he's ordered for me so many times. I enjoy talking with him. He bought for me today. I enjoy working with him. There's other people that you meet, and you meet their wives. You meet their maybe their kids. There's one customer I have that he sends me YouTube videos that he does with his kids, like ripping packs and stuff. That's really cool. I had one customer that sent me like an invitation. It wasn't like inviting me to go, but because his sister was having a quince. So stuff like that, like you really enjoy it because really that's what Pokemon is about establishing and building relationships with people. And then also you get to yap about Pokemon. I love talking about Pokemon. Now I enjoy talking about Pokemon more with people that really enjoy the hobby and enjoy Pokemon. When I enjoy that. I don't enjoy when people tell me one thing and then they buy something else, or you just kind of get a little weird little feeling, that maybe they don't have the best intentions with the product that you're going to sell them. But it's awesome. I love talking about Pokemon. And then the other thing is you get to really meet different types of people. I have one kid that orders from me, and he's like kind of like a cowboy guy. He's got a big old badass truck and stuff like that. And I deal with a bunch of nerds, and then and I'm a nerd, so it's okay. And then you deal with like rocker, and then you deal with adults, then you deal with children. Like you'll have parents that are, hey, my son wants to buy some cards. I'll set it up, and it's like a little kid, so he's running, and his dad's helping him count his money and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Like that, I really, really, really enjoy. I enjoy people talking about their hits. I enjoy people talking about, hey, I went to this card show, that card show. That is really, really cool. And the ultimate goal that I have with all of this is transitioning and converting my current local based customers to online customers. How am I going to do that? I have no idea, but that is going to be the goal, is to shift that base that I have here to online. So overall, guys, I really recommend selling. And also, one thing that I guess this is just a bonus tip with selling on Facebook Marketplace, it gives you a much better like grasp on the hobby and what's going on and what people are interested. If you type in Pokemon investing on YouTube, you're going to see 1,000 bajillion gazillion videos. Oh, you should invest in this or you should invest in that, whatever. But really, when you're on the ground, boots on the ground, selling to people, you get a really good understanding of what people are interested in and what they want. And then also, it really helps you understand your customer and their wants and needs as well. So, overall, guys, I would suggest it to everybody, especially, once you get to a point to where you might shift and pivot, selling on Facebook Marketplace is a good way to test it out. There's some other things that I can talk about, like security with it and making sure you're safe, and how to scale it. Taxes are very very important. I can't say that too loud. My wife's over there. Taxes are very important when it comes to selling on Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, DT's Cool Cards. Go to my website, buy something super cool. Talk to y'all tomorrow.